Well, hello, hello, hello. Hello, everyone. Hello, beautiful women. My name is Tracy Resch Williams, owner of Alaska Tracy. I work with women who are seeking calmness, clarity, and prosperity for their businesses and their lives using my vision mapping framework. And I am going to give you a couple minutes to join the discussion tonight where we're going to talk about spirituality plus vision mapping equals transformation. And I see a couple of you on. Welcome, welcome. Where are you joining in from tonight? Please comment where you're joining in from. And I am also recording this on my YouTube channel. So welcome everyone. Yeah, it's wonderful to be here tonight. We're going to talk about spirituality plus vision mapping equals transformation. And I'm going to share some secrets with you about that. I see quite a few of you joining. If you would, let me know that you can hear me by giving me a thumbs up, and possibly where you're joining in from. I am in Anchorage, Alaska. You are joining me from my office in the trees, in the woods, here in Alaska, where in the last 24 hours, we had 115 mile an hour winds, 40-degree weather, rain, and another foot of snow. And tonight it's about 32 degrees and it's the thick, deep snow and it's so Christmassy. So where are you joining in from? And I'm hoping that you can hear me. I've got my little Rhodes microphone on and we're going to talk about spirituality plus vision mapping equals transformation. And how I came up with that topic tonight, that's my life. And my story, I'm going to share a little about my story and then how it's ended up helping people to transform their lives. And I've witnessed many people, hundreds of people, transforming their lives using my vision mapping framework. And I'm looking for people to comment where you're joining in from. I'm in Anchorage, Alaska, so welcome to Alaska for anybody who's wanted to come visit Alaska. Spirituality was not on my plate 22 years ago. I was a mess. I was super successful in sales and marketing, one of the top producers in a company, and I was miserable. I had moved over 30 times from the time I was 20 to the time I landed in Alaska from Florida at 30 years old. It was exhausting running from me. Everywhere I went, I would try to recreate myself, and then there I was. And there was a little problem I had, and it was with alcohol. And so I moved up to Anchorage. I was married to another man, and I was a hot mess. And we got up here, and I hit bottom. I crashed and burned a little over 22 years ago. And I was introduced to a new way of life and a whole new set of tools. And within that first year, I was able to start actually it was within the first 3 years of my sobriety, I was able to start a business. And the very first basic tool was believing in something or somebody outside of myself that I could turn things over to. And I see quite a few of you joining in. Please comment below where you're joining in from. And I'm hoping you can hear me. Thumbs up if you can hear me. I would love to know where you're joining in from. Again, I'm in Anchorage, Alaska. And so I was told that if I could turn things over to something outside of myself, that things would run a whole lot easier. And so in the beginning, it was as simple as nature and the dogs, because I didn't really have a grasp of God. I had no idea I was always searching for some sort of a God in my life. And so that was the beginning part, just turning my life over to something that I didn't understand that could help me to do all sorts of things in life. And so what came from that was the next part was creating a plan. I went to a career counselor, and I knew I wanted to start a business. Even though I was a top producer in a company making a ton of money, I knew I wanted to start a business. And he told me a couple really cool things. One, that I'm dyslexic. I had no idea. At 32 years old, I found out I'm dyslexic. Any other dyslexics out there? I know there's all different forms of dyslexia. I was relieved because I always thought I was stupid. And come to find out, I was alcoholic and dyslexic. And guess what? I can work around those. I can recover. I can do recovery. And I can create a plan for success moving forward. And so that's what I did. He sent me back to Anchorage and he said, create a plan and follow the plan, and you will be successful in anything that you do. And surround yourself with people that can be your mentor, that can sort of help you when you're going to want to run, because you're going to want to get frightened, right? Who's an entrepreneur in here? Who gets scared on a daily basis? Who's wanted to run before? I know I have. And so having a core group of people in your life that can help you to get back onto your plan, your roadmap, is really important. And so that's what I did. I came back and I asked 5 people to be my mentors and to help me to continue on the roadmap to create my very first business. I had no idea what it was going to look like. I did the actions to create a plan. Who here has created a business plan or any type of a plan? And where are you from? I see so many people coming and going. And I hope I'm getting comments because I've got a couple. Yeah. Oops, I didn't want to do that. See, that's what I get for playing with the phone. When I'm hoping you can hear me okay. I'm unable to see any comments coming across, so I'll just keep going. Thumbs up if you can hear me and you're joining me here in Anchorage, Alaska, which I hope you are. I see so many people, and I would love to know where you're joining in from and if you have created a plan of any type. A business plan, a life plan, any type of plan. My very first one was when I was 32 years old. And shortly thereafter, 6 months maybe, my very first business was born. And creating that plan was one of the most painful things that I've ever gone through. Sobriety was probably the first. Running a marathon or 2 has been difficult as well. But creating that plan, what it did was it gave me a lot of confidence. It helped me do market research to ensure that that business could in fact go for the long haul. And it was my roadmap. It was my guide. And you know what? I don't even know where that business plan is today. I don't know that I reflected back on it through the years that I had that first business. I know that it was paramount in helping me to create that business and to succeed at that business and get it up and going and sold it. I actually left corporate America to start a mobile dog grooming business, and it still runs around Anchorage here. And at one point I had 3 vans up and going and employees. And so that plan gave me the confidence. It helped me to have the mentors because there were times when I would get scared and I would want to divert, even though in my heart of hearts I knew that was the business that I wanted. So the spirituality piece is the maintaining some sort of a conscious contact to something, God, your higher power, Mother Nature, whatever you call something outside of yourself that you can turn things over to. And I walk every day, even living in Alaska. I walk every day. I live with, you can see her, she's taking a nap right now, a pretty German Shepherd rescue, Belgian Malinois German Shepherd, as well as another rescue dog, and they need walks every day. So I walk every day, and we live in the woods up here, and the mountains are right behind us, and there's trails everywhere. So I walk every day. I feel a connection when I'm in nature. How about you? Where do you feel a connection to something outside of yourself? Where do you feel a connection to something outside of yourself that you can turn things over to? Then I got into meditation 22 years ago. I started meditation. It started as yoga. It was on the floor. It was doing a deep yoga class, and it was connecting and being still. And it's led into teaching meditation. It's led into, I use Insight Timer. Are there any Insight Timer ladies out there? Or any other apps that you might use? And if you're watching the replay later on, please feel free to comment, because I have a women's membership community called Visions to Profits Women's Membership Community, and we meditate every week, and I love bringing them tools back that I learn about. A lot of us use Insight Timer. Some of them use Calm. I've guided them through meditation before as well. And if I do meditation every day, things go a whole lot smoother. How about for you? Any meditators out there? If you are watching on my YouTube channel, feel free to comment where you meditate, how you meditate. We also have a hot tub up here in Anchorage, Alaska, in our woods, and I love to meditate in the hot tub. And my acupuncturist has given me a really cool couple grounding exercises to do. So that is the core pieces, is the spirituality piece, whomever you turn things over to. And a piece of that is the meditation, the calming our minds in all different walks of religion. They talk about being still and listening, being still and listening. And so the more we can be still, the more we can listen to our heart, and our heart will ultimately guide us. And then the vision mapping, the framework that I teach, is about listening to your heart and putting it on paper. So it's this framework about connecting our hearts to our heads and writing out the whole plan, which I guide people through. And you can see on the comments there that I have my annual Pay What You Will vision mapping framework coming up January 2nd. So who here has ever led with their head instead of their heart? I have. And that's how I got into a lot of careers that I was in. Even a business. I was in real estate for a while. I knew I could sell, and that seemed to be the quickest, easiest way to go. And so I jumped into real estate, even though my heart was going, oh, this doesn't feel right. And I did it anyways. And I was super successful. And guess what? I was going to see a massage therapist every single week in the end because I was so stressed out. And so that was something that I did over the last 22 years, leading with my head instead of my heart. And I see it often. Women will come to these workshops, to these vision mapping frameworks, or to coach with me. I'm a certified master coach for business and life. And they will be leading with their heads. They'll be in a career, a business, a relationship, living somewhere, And they are there because their heads told them to do that. And I believe there's no right or wrong, right? I believe the more experiences that we can have, the more opportunities we get to share with other people. I also believe that when we're leading with our hearts, and I've seen it in the women that I work with, as well as myself, that when we're leading with our hearts, opportunities often open beyond our wildest dreams and take us to places that are way beyond what we could have ever put on our vision map. It's that tapping into our hearts. It's that piece of being still so that our hearts can guide us to that easier, softer pathway. I'm all about paths. Like the membership that I have is called Visions to Profits Women's Membership Community, and the logo is the mountain range, which is actually right in front of our house here, right behind our house. And so it's a logo of a mountain range, and then there's a trail, and there's all different steps throughout the vision mapping membership, all different points of success. And so I'm all about trails, and I believe that we can, every day we get choices. We can either go on this trail or on this trail. And sometimes when we pick the trail, when we're thinking maybe an ego, and we pick the trail out of ego, it might be really rough and difficult, and we might fall down a lot, and we might even fail. I've failed in business. I've failed in things in life, and it does give us character for sure. Or we can go this way. We can pause a minute and look at both trails and sort of tap into our heart and see which one may be the easier, softer way for us to go. And if we go with our heart, it could lead to wonderful experiences and opportunities. Is it going to be work? Of course. It's still going to be work. Is it going to be difficult at times? Of course. Of course it is. It may provide more opportunities, and it may feel a little bit easier. So the tapping into your heart, the meditation, prayer, if you pray. I have all sorts of books around here that I use. This one's my favorite. My husband gave it to me, and I know it's backwards on the screen. It's called Time for Joy, and I love it. It's got little daily readings in it with these cute little girls in it. It's by Ruth Fishel. Like, she's so stinking cute, right? And I put dates of people's birthdays and anniversaries, little people. And so I often read a meditation or a affirmation out of this little book before meditating. Today is December 23rd, almost Christmas. And it says, as I start this day with quiet meditation, I feel myself becoming still and at peace. At any time during the day, I can bring my mind back to this moment. I will bring my attention and awareness back to the peace that I have when I am with my breath, and I know that my breath is with me at all times, whether I remember it or not. And she's so cute. So it's often good to start, before you meditate, to start with something that you read. What inspirational books are you reading that center you, that sort of calm your soul down, that maybe you read before you meditate? What books? I have so many. The Secret is one. Oh, A Course in Miracles is one. I'm just looking up. I've got a Louise Hay book with little daily affirmations on it. That's another great one. Attitudes of Gratitude. I'm looking right on my bookshelf where I grab them. Emmett Fox. He's amazing. So it's really good to grab a book. Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. Oh my goodness, such richness in there. Another, The Journey Within, Ruth Fischel. Book of Joy with the Dalai Lama and Archbishop Desmond Tutu. Oh my goodness, loaded with good stuff. So grab a book and calm your soul, and then start your workday. Start your roadmap for success. Start your vision mapping. Who here has created a vision map? My framework is laid out where there's a core, and then we go into categories that we want to see happen in the new year. And then within those categories are goals. And from the goals are the action steps, the actions that are necessary to get to the goal. And then we talk about accountability. Who are you going to be accountable to? Is it going to be a coach? Is it going to be a membership community? Is it going to be, who is it going to be? And I always encourage the people that I'm working with, whether it's coaching or in my membership community, to be accountable to somebody outside of your house and outside of your business, because they're not vested in you, right? So they can give you really good constructive feedback. If they're in your household, they're vested in you. If they're in your business, they're vested in you. So if you can seek outside, even a mentor. My first accountability people that I was telling you about, they were 3 business owners that I had known. They were very successful in business, and they didn't ask me for money. They were mentors, 3 of them. And the business advisor that helped me write my first business plan. So you don't have to pay. You can find somebody for free, or you can pay somebody like myself, a coach, or a membership community where they have accountability. In my membership community, we have a once a week accountability call. It's really important, that piece, because we can plan all day. We can get things out on paper, our whole plan, our whole roadmap for success. And if we're missing that piece of accountability, when life happens, guess what? We're going to divert. We're going to start leading with our head again. We're going to get scared. We might even stay in that career that's holding us back and keeping us miserable. When we have people that we can be accountable to, they can ask us the questions. What are you fearful of? What's on your plan? Are you thinking of doing whatever you're thinking of doing because why? They can ask us those questions without being vested in us. Okay? So that piece, that accountability piece, is so very, very important. And then the measuring. So we'll talk about in the vision mapping annual workshop. It's a pay what you want. So pay anything you want. A certain proceeds go to persons that are less fortunate. I pick a group or a person, and I give a percentage of the money from the annual workshop. So we'll go into the measuring as well. We'll do the whole. It'll be 2 hours, and the measuring is simply: are we moving forward, or are we moving backwards? And if we're moving backwards, how can we pivot to keep going forward? So that piece, measuring, is it going to be an Excel spreadsheet? How are you going to measure? How are you going to measure your success? I have sticky notes with pieces of paper all over my office with numbers on them. And that's how I measure. I look at my bank account. I have a bookkeeper who does a quarterly P&L, and that's how I measure. And I'm looking to see. Every once in a while, I'm looking at the group that just to make sure that I am. It's so tricky when you go live here. Okay, so I have 5 more minutes, and I am hoping a lot of you when you watch the replay that you'll comment and that you'll share about any spiritual books that are helping you to tap into something outside of yourself. What spiritual books, what spiritual tools are you using? Are you meditating? And if you're meditating, where do you meditate? How do you meditate? What tools are you using? I've mentioned Insight Timer, Calm, the woods. I go into the woods often. The hot tub, a bathtub is great. Sitting still is really wonderful. It's really delicious when you can sit still. And my acupuncturist gave me this really great one. I'm going to give it to you. It's a freebie. Here you go. He says to put your hands out and to stand. And I do it in the hot tub, sitting in the hot tub. And breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. And when you breathe in, cool air in. And breathe out, warm air out, warm air out. Cool air in, warm air out. And sort of picture yourself like in a bubble almost. Like this bubble is trying to touch you. It's like a membrane and it's trying to touch your skin. So when you breathe in, it's getting really, really close to you and almost touching you. And then when you breathe out, you're pushing it out. Cool air in, warm air out. And that's a really simple meditation. And if you can start with 3 to 6 minutes, that's fantastic. 3 to 6 minutes and then work your way up from there. That's wonderful. There are tons of ways to do guided meditation. So I have a couple minutes left. I wanted to share with you again my annual once a year pay what you want women's virtual vision mapping workshop, January 2nd, the link's above. January 2nd, for 2 hours, you will leave with your 2021 roadmap for success. Come comfortable, bring your creative juices. I will walk you through the whole entire process. There are many women that have the Visions to Profits Women's Membership Community, which doors are open for that as well. You can see all my offerings on my website, and my dog just sighed. I think I'm exhausting her. AlaskaTracy.com. The membership community gets a quarterly vision mapping workshop. So every quarter they get a workshop, and they're liking breaking their plans into quarters. So if you show up for the annual, you could do a quarter, you could just do a quarter, and then you can join me for the next quarter because I open it to the public, to women as well. So that's coming up January 2nd, and I've included a freebie for you. My background is sales and marketing, and so, nope, that wasn't the one I included. Sorry about that. I've got a marketing freebie for you too. The one I included is the tools. The 5 tools for calmness. So go ahead and download that and let me know how that's working out for you. You can find me on AlaskaTracy.com, where you'll see I have a YouTube channel, the Alaska Tracy podcast, and I am a certified master business and life coach and a member of the International Coaching Federation. I work with women who are looking for calmness, clarity, and prosperity in their businesses and their lives. And the women that I work with have tremendous success. They transform in ways that are unimaginable. I've seen women leave businesses and move on to the next thing. I've seen women start businesses. I've seen women grow a business to include 3 more businesses on top of that one business. I have seen amazing transformations using my vision mapping framework. I invite you to join the workshop January 2nd. It's a lot of fun. It's interactive. It's on Zoom. We're super casual. I invite everybody to join in. I have a magic wand that I wave around and all sorts of magical, beautiful miracles happen during that workshop. So join in. Feel free if you have any questions, if you're watching the replay, to reach out. Thank you so much for listening tonight, for watching wherever you're watching from, for joining me here in Anchorage, Alaska. Until we meet again, bye-bye.